Hello friends, Jennifer Pearson here, Thistle Gypsy, with our creative weekly reading for the week of December, I need to change my calendar, week of December 5th, 2016. Alright, I'm going to see if, now that I've got this and I'm looking at how it's showing up on the webcam, I'm going to see if I can scoot it over. Because we have two sectors here that have no stones in them that are closest to the webcam. So I'm going to see if I can sort of scoot it, not without kind of messing it up. Yeah, so much for that. Maybe a little bit it helped. Let's straighten things out here. Fabrics stuck together. Alright, for those who are new to this sort of reading, I have 8 sectors here. 8 sectors. It's bugging me that my little things aren't straight, but 8 sectors, and then you can see the concentric circles here. This is the beginning of the week, the middle of the week, and the end of the week, and we have a lot more going on at the end of the week and into the beginning of next week, actually. Some really, I think this is really interesting energy, especially considering last week's. And so people will be happy to see a couple of stones here in the Muse area. Most wonderful. Yes, but back to the explanation. I'll talk about these sectors, and also there is a stone for each of the sectors. So this sector is structure and schedule. You could potentially have the structure and schedule stone in the structure and schedule sector. And then I have a stone for each of the elements: air, water, fire, and earth. And there's a stone for new and a stone for old. So let's dive in here. I'm going to start with the beginning of the week. Interesting energy here in the sector of generation, and generation meaning, I should change that. In fact, I am right now because I was thinking of it last week. Changing it from generation to production. Production, actually producing whatever work it is that you do, whatever creative project is actually working on it, not thinking about it, not reflecting on it, not working around the sidelines, the actual generation of it. And in this area we have coal, so we have absorbing energy, so absorbing negativity out of it. So if you've been, my thinking is that maybe you've been castigating yourself or criticizing yourself for not doing more. You need to let that go, and I think this stone is saying that you're going to be able to let that go. It's soaking up any negative energy you have around either your ability to do what you want to do or whether or not you've been doing it. And then in supplies and environment, we have the air stone. So there's some thought going on here about either about what you need to do what you want to do, or the environment in which you're doing it. But I don't think, it's interesting because I believe that this stone was here last week toward the end of the week, and now it's here in the beginning. So I think that you're on the verge of resolving something. So you might be finishing something in regards to this. And last week I believe we also had structure and schedule here, or here maybe. At any rate, I remember that last week resolving the whole issue of putting a structure in place, and perhaps getting your environment where you do your work as you want it, so that it fosters whatever creative work that you're doing, that these two things were very important. And here I think we're seeing that the structure that we talked about last week is finally going to result in a positive influence here on your muse or your creative ideas. Interesting. All right, so that's the beginning of the week. Letting go of some negative energy, absorbing it, getting it out there, finishing up further thoughts or plans. I think this is plans. It could be making lists. It could be an additional idea or two on how to refine your environment or supplies or whatever you need to do your artistic project. And then in structure and schedule, you have all of this tremendous energy here in the middle of the week, and this is the structure and schedule stone right here. So yep. Okay, so here we have actually I'm not sure what we have. Okay. This is promotion. All right, so we have structure and schedule and promotion, and we have promotion and structure and schedule. That's toward the later end of the week, middle to later end of the week, where these two are in conjunction here. We also have something old here. So maybe at one point you had a good structure or schedule, and let me show you this little ammonite. This is a little ammonite, so it's, I can't get it so that the light will hit it correctly. At any rate, it's a shell, fossilized shell. So at one point, and I show you that because something is coming back around, and it's coming back around bigger, right? That's the way a shell works. You may have had in the past some kind of schedule or structure, and it can be a structure to your project as well as the schedule or structure in which you do the project. But you had something that worked in the past, and you need to return to it, or you need to return to part of it, because you also have the new stone here. So you have both new and old in your structure and schedule area. So there may be that you have to, maybe you have a new circumstance and you somehow need to use some of your old structure, you know, or you've got a new situation and you're trying to fit it into your old structure. And I'm not going to say that that's bad. I think these two things need to be resolved here. Maybe you have a new structure or a new schedule in some other part of your life, and you're having to arrange your schedule around your art in conjunction with it. It may even be that this new situation allows you to return to something previous. I do feel like this is beneficial energy. It might be a little confounding to start with, but I feel like it's the conjunction between these two things ends up being beneficial. I'm just getting that this returning to this old thing is also involves growth. Again, as I said, it starts out small and then it gets bigger. So that it allows for more growth, or perhaps you've grown in terms of your project. There's more of it. It's become bigger. There's more demand for what you're doing, and you're having to expand on an old structure in order to accommodate that. It can also be, since we have the structure and schedule card here in promotion, that you need to, and vice versa, that you're needing to establish more of a structure around how you promote your art. You know, whether it's submitting to galleries on a regular schedule, or and that's the thing that strikes me the most, or any other sort of submitting. It can be taking pictures of your work on a more regular basis and putting them on Facebook. You know, there's a wide variety of possibilities there, or some other website that you have to make sure that you're getting your work out there and seen. You know, if you're involved in writing, then it's a matter of making sure you have a submission schedule. And the beauty here of having all of this activity here is that once you get these kinds of things set up, they take care of themselves. You don't have to give them too much thought unless there's another period of growth or new expectations, and then you have to reassess. Or, of course, if you're getting 0 results, you also have to reassess. Okay, so let's look here at the Muse. Well, let's first look at rejuvenation. There's a slight advance here. You have rejuvenation, as you're going here, you have rejuvenation, and then just starting into the next week, you have these 2 stones in the Muse area. And actually you have this is the rejuvenation stone here. So again, you have synchronicities here. But you also have the firestone here in your Muse. I said I was going to talk about this first, didn't I? I didn't. But you also have your firestone here in your Muse. So, yes, that was energy. I can't remember where that was. I think it was over here last time. But yes, so you're starting to get some ideas. You're putting yourself in a position where you can let your Muse out, is my feeling here. You can let your Muse out to play. Your Muse is going to feel safe, is going to feel invited. Invited to the party, or invited perhaps to create a party. So over here in rejuvenation, we have the water stone. I'm not sure that this stone has ever stayed within the circles before. So this could literally mean seeking out some liquid form of enjoyment, and I don't mean drinking. I mean more swimming, hot tub. It's going to vary depending on where you're at and what your possibilities are. Pool. Can even just be gazing, can be even just visiting some sort of water and gazing or watching the waves or listening to the waves, listening to the sound of waves. But some form of rejuvenation that involves flow. I could even see something like Tai Chi, where you're moving, but you're moving very slowly. Yes, I would say that sort of thing. I'm starting to think maybe dance. It's like, no, not dance. Something that's slow and flowing and relaxing. And I think the flow is going to somehow affect your mind. And then we have the stone here. I was having one of those weird ideas that I sometimes get, which is just to, even if you don't have access to like a waterfall or waves or some other kind of flow, of course you can always do that. You can look for something on YouTube and sit there and watch it, waves lapping on the shore or something. But I was even thinking, I was seeing like somebody in an apartment, and you just go and you turn on the water and you bring a chair in and you just sit there, maybe with candles, and listen to the water flowing out of the faucet. You know, anything that you can do to think of. I'm thinking flow. And then we have the big picture and reflection stone here. So as you're flowing, you might be getting ideas for, could be ideas for promotion with the activity going on here. It can be larger. I'm thinking as you're relaxing and rejuvenating, you can get an expanded idea of the scope of your project. Like instead of doing one painting, you're going to do a triptych. Or instead of doing it on a, you know, a 12 by 5 canvas, you're going to do it on a wall. You're going to make it a mural. So what's coming to me here is an enlargement with that big picture reflection. You're reflecting on what you've got and the size of it, and you're actually thinking a bigger version, a bigger picture. That, you know, this novel that you thought was going to be 200 pages, well, suddenly it's becoming an epic. And as you relax and rejuvenate, you're seeing how it could expand either as a single novel or as a series of novels. Maybe you're suddenly seeing how you can turn your play into a Broadway play into a screenplay. I don't know. But that's what's kind of coming through here with those two here. All right, and then you have the reflection here, or excuse me, not the reflection, you have the rejuvenation card here, card with stone, with our Firestone here under the Muse. So again, there's going to be some kind of idea as a result of this rejuvenation. You're going to have some kind, or this time that you spend in kind of, I'm thinking, spacey sort of flow environment, stimulating yourself here, that's going to fire up and give you enthusiasm and ideas for the project. So my hope is that with these things, okay, structure considered, both new and old, okay, putting things into place for promotion, then you're going to forget about it. You're going to do some relaxing, meditative, flowing sort of things here, and that's going to open up your ideas and your mind. And so what I'm hoping is that next week we will see more stones here in generation and promotion. We've had a lot over here and here and here in the past probably 6 weeks, and a lot of the generation has been involved with promotion. And it's like, well, come on, you know, let's get out of the dry stuff here. So I'm really hoping that everything that has occurred in this reading is finally flowing to involve more of this sector. Alright, that's it for our creative reading for the week of December 5th. I'm always turning over to the calendar, which is not correct. It's not. I'm still on November on the wall here. I hope it was useful to you, and I will be back again next week. Thanks so much for stopping by, listening, liking, sharing, and subscribing to my video. It helps me along on my own journey. Bye-bye.